what's up? It's your favorite blogger and only crazy coach coming to you again this week with Controlling Your Crazy and Creative Mag. Don't forget, you can find us on IGTV, Facebook, and YouTube. So last week, we spoke to the non-existent boyfriend, Byrnes, about sex, the word that everybody loves, right? That three-letter word. This week, Byrnes brought a friend along that we want to speak to, right? He's a professional guy, the businessman. And yes, ladies, professional men and businessmen date single women too. So without further ado, let us welcome our non-existent boyfriend, Byrnes, to the panel. Welcome, Byrnes.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, so we're gonna jump right into this. So I talked to Byrnes a little earlier and I asked him about professional men, businessmen, even though they juggle work, how do they juggle women? And he enlightened me on something, right? Non-existent boyfriends date multiple women at a time. So hold off on that crazy, right? Because don't think your non-existent boyfriend is just dating you. So let's ask Byrnes. Byrnes, why do non-existent boyfriends date multiple women at one time?
Well, I think it's important to date multiple women for a couple of reasons. First, you don't know who you're going to end up with, so it's important to kind of decide who you want. And so dating multiple women, you kind of figure out who you eventually going to settle with. And second of all, you want to just get to know people. You're busy. You have career. For me, I'm an attorney, so I'm very busy. So I want to be able to take whoever I need to go at different events and so on. So that's probably some of the reason we do that.
Very interesting, because I talk to single women all the time and they ask me, why didn't he call me today? Why didn't he ask me out this weekend? And I'm so quick to tell them, listen, he's probably dating multiple people. He cannot take you out every weekend because he's taking out someone else. And like Byrnes said, it is so you can meet other people. You don't know who you'll end up with, and that's the safest answer. So now I'm gonna dig a little deeper, Byrnes, right? Because I've talked to a lot of women who go crazy emotionally. What advice would you give to single women on controlling that crazy, holding back that emotion when they don't hear from you because they're expecting another date and they don't know that you're out with another woman? How would you advise them to control their emotions?
I think it's important that both people lay out their expectation. I think the guy has to communicate the expectation, say, hey, I am dating other people. We are getting to know each other, and then the woman has to tell the other person the expectation. The expectation is, yes, I'm willing to date you, and while you date other people, and I'm also dating other people. Or no, I'm not willing to date. I want one person in a committed relationship without dating other people. So the key thing is communication, and once you have communication, you'll be able to be able to decide what you want to do. In addition to communication, I think either party need to not have too high of an expectation when you start dating. When you start having too high of an expectation where you want exclusivity and so on, it becomes a problem because you may not be at the same level at the same time.
And I say that all the time. That's why he's non-existent, ladies. Yes, he's there in the flesh, but he's non-existent because emotionally he's not there yet. And I'm gonna ask you this question, piggybacking off of what you said. Do you recommend single women to date other men too?
Absolutely, as long as there's communication there. If someone communicates with me and say, hey, I'm dating other people, you can date other people, or you dating other people, but once the communication is one where we've dated a few months and we're now ready to be exclusive and to be with one another, then the relationship changes. But it can't change too early without that communication.
Wow. And you know what I love? I get to talk to people like Byrnes, right? A non-existent boyfriend who can keep it real. Ladies, communication. Here's the thing about going crazy. A lot of times single women go in and they lie. I know you don't like that word, but they lie, right? The non-existent boyfriend asks you, what are you looking for? Are you dating other men? And as a response, you probably fear that you may lose his attention or even lose him, and you lie. So according to Byrnes, who clearly, right, is a man who has dated, He needs women to be open, communicate, right? And know that he is dating other women. So here is the last juiciest question I get in terms of non-existent boyfriends dating multiple women. If I'm dating you, right, and you decide I'm not the girl for you, how do you make your exit? Because we talked to another non-existent boyfriend last week about men kind of just disappearing, and he said it's in a man's nature.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
Yeah.
So how would you go about exiting a situation if you find after dating multiple women, this one is not for you? Would you go ghost, or do you then stick to your communication thing?
Well, I think you're right. There are different approach that one can use. I think you can disappear, and I wouldn't do that. I think as you get a little mature, as you grow up, and you tend to want to do it the right way. You don't want to burn bridges, and you don't want to have the other party feeling somewhat disappointed and so on. And you never know what life has in store. I think the right approach would be, at some point you want to communicate, say, hey, we did it a while, I don't think this is going anywhere, I think we want to move on to other things. And I think they'll respect that. You never want to burn bridges. You don't want to really hurt somebody's, by being ghost or by disappearing. It's somewhat an immature way to handle it. I think you want to be able to just communicate. I think that's probably the better approach. But I have heard the different approach where people have disappeared.
Oh yeah.
And that's an approach. It's not mine. I think as you get a little more mature, you won't do that. But I think certainly the communication is where you need to go.
All right, so you heard that, ladies. The word of the day with Byrnes, that C word is?
Communication.
Communication, right? You heard it here. So listen, ladies, you might want to get you a more business-like, professional, developed man who's been there, done that, right? Because these other guys you may have been dating, I don't know, maybe they don't know about communication or what that's all about. Listen, we're gonna wrap it up for this week. Next week, we're going to talk to the millennial, all right? Because dating is not all about an older gentleman or a professional man. We wanna talk to the youngins, right? See where their head is at. So until next week, you can find me on IGTV, YouTube, and Facebook. It's your favorite blogger and only crazy coach, Tony. Peace.